Welcome to Milano Linate, Italy's city airport. ICAO LIML, Datalink, located just 8 kilometers east-southeast of Milano city center at elevation 353 feet. This is Milan's downtown gateway with a single precision runway serving intense commercial traffic. 24-hour operations with full ILS Category 3 capability on the preferential runway. Let's brief what matters for safe operations. Runway 35 is the preferential runway for all operations. Only use runway 17 when weather or safety prevents 35 usage per ENAC directive. Daily runway inspections. Close the field 3 times, 0500 to 0515, 1300 to 1315, and 1800 to 1815 local time. Plan your arrival accordingly. Tailwind limits, 7 knots dry runway, 5 knots wet runway on 35. Tower 118.1, ground 121.8, ATIS 136.375, delivery frequency 119.25 available at ATC discretion. Milano radar on 126.3 and 126.75. ATIS provides real-time updates including surface wind at touchdown and stop end of runway in use, essential for tailwind operations. Single runway 1735. 2,442 meters by 60 meters. Full-length TORA, both directions. Intersection takeoff Gulf available. Reduces TORA to 2,000 meters. Runway 35, 1,900 meters. Runway 17. ILS Category 3B on 35 frequency, 109.55. Runway 17 has VOR and RNP approaches only. Minimum RVR 550 meters. Plan your approach capabilities accordingly. Clearway at 60 meters both ends for TOTA calculation. No stopway available. LDA equals TORA, both directions. No displaced thresholds to worry about. However, note the runway has 0.19% longitudinal slope. RESA available both ends. 230 meters runway 17, 240 meters runway 35. All distances meet requirements for your aircraft performance calculations. Terrain-induced orographic wind shear most frequent May through July with northern winds, especially phone conditions, often associated with thunderstorms. Can occur throughout the year but peaks in summer months. ATC and ATIS will advise when conditions exist. Configure early. Expect sudden wind changes on approach and departure. If wind shear reported, add extra margins to your approach speed and be ready for go-around. Significant bird activity year-round. Primary species. Black-headed gulls in flocks up to 50 birds, especially January, March, and September, November, concentrated 0600 to 0900 and 1500 to 1800. Starlings, wood pigeons, crows across the runway environment. Active bird control includes acoustic deterrents, lasers, 15 remote cannons. Highest concentration near Taxiway November and Kilo, both sides of runway, especially threshold 35 area. Stay alert below 300 feet. Runway 35 approved for Cat 3 operations. Minimum RVR 75 meters, all transmissometers for landing. Low visibility takeoff, minimum RVR 75 meters on stop end transmissometer. Runway 17, minimum 550 meters RVR for any operation. LVP procedures activated when RVR at or below 550 meters or cloud base below 200 feet. ATIS and tower will confirm LVP active. Expect reduced capacity and mandatory follow me in some conditions. Environmental restriction. Per ENAC directive, takeoffs from runway 17, permitted only when meteorological conditions or safety reasons prevent using preferential runway 35. This is strictly enforced for noise abatement. Do not request runway 17 for convenience. Operational necessity only. Departures must adhere to published noise abatement SIDs. Standard departure is runway 35 unless conditions dictate otherwise. Fire Category 8, ICAO. Jetta 1 fuel available 0430 to 2300 on request other times. 4 handling companies operate. Check Table 23 for general aviation services. De-icing available, H24 on North Apron stands 73, 74, 75, 76 using Type 2 fluid and hot water. Request de-icing minimum 50 minutes before EOBT through your handler. 11 hangars available for maintenance and overnight storage. Linate operates full Airport-CDM for departure sequencing. You must input or confirm TOBT, target off-block time, at EOBT minus 40 minutes. System generates TSAT, target startup approval time. Report ready to move to Linate ramp frequency 131.88 North Apron or West coordination 131.775 within TOBT plus minus 5 minutes. Late ready cancels your sequence. Follow TSAT strictly. ATC issues startup within TSAT plus 5 minutes maximum. After TOBT confirmed and aircraft ready status from handler, contact Linate ramp 131.880. ramp issues ARDT, actual ready time, and current TSAT. Then switch to delivery or ground for ATC clearance and startup. One engine startup only at stand. Remaining engines at Taxiway Tango after intermediate hold point Tango 5. Strict anti-jet blast procedures enforced. Pushback stands require all engines except one started on Taxiway Tango past IHP Tango 5. All movements on West Apron and Taxiways Yankee November, Kilo require follow-me car assistance between intermediate holding positions, November 1 and Kilo 1. Contact West Apron Coordination 131.775. Pushback or tow mandatory for jets over 4,000 kilograms from stands 5-1 through 5-6. Strict jet blast procedures due to confined space. Follow marshalling and follow me instructions precisely. Taxiway Kilo usable only by Code C aircraft with main gear span under 6 meters. All others must advise tower in advance. Taxiway November, north of runway centerline, requires specific ATC clearance per Italian CAA directive. Aircraft with tail height over 9 meters must inform ground before using Taxiway November. Taxiway Juliet, exit only from runway, not for entry. During LVP, Taxiway Juliet, not available. Use Golf or Tango only for runway access. Review A-CDM procedures. Input TOBT at EOBT minus 40 minutes. Confirm handler coordination. Check ATIS for preferential runway. Daily inspection closures, LVP status, and Windshear reports. Brief terrain-induced windshear threat on approach runway 35. Configure early. Add margins. Verify bird activity warnings and maintain vigilance below 300 feet on approach and departure. Confirm your aircraft meets Code D width restriction, max 48 meters wingspan, and taxiway limitations. Plan for follow-me requirement if assigned, West Apron. Coordinate through handler in advance. Item 1. Tailwind. OPS. Runway 35 preferential, even with tailwind up to 7 knots dry, 5 knots wet. Expect this. Configure early. Plan extra landing distance. Item 2. Wind. Shear. Orographic wind shear. May July with northern winds. If reported or suspected, add speed margin. Be ready for go-around. Avoid complacency. Item 3. A-CDM timing. Miss your TOBT plus 5 minutes window and you lose sequence priority. Can cause significant delays. Confirm ready status early with handler. Nav aids. Lindivor DME 112.25 channel 59 Yankee. ILS runway 35, ILNT 109.55 Cat 3B. VOR DME MMP 113.35, BRL 111.05, Gen 112.80 available. Transition altitude 6,000 feet. Magnetic variation 3 degrees east as of 2020. Check NOTAM for NAVAID maintenance, typically scheduled first or third day of month depending on facility. Transponder Mode S mandatory for MLAT surface surveillance. Operates continuously on movement area H24. Multilateration tracks all aircraft automatically. Keep transponder on from startup to shutdown. CPDLC and ADSC not currently implemented at Linate. VFR traffic restricted. Special VFR fixed wing not permitted except military state aircraft for takeoff and landing only. Standard VFR traffic pattern east of runway. General aviation must indicate handler in flight plan item 18. De-icing on North Apron stands 7.3 through 7.6. Accommodates wingspan up to 48 meters, stand 7.4, or 36 meters, other stands. Request through handler, minimum 50 minutes before EOBT, automatic booking during snowfall. Type 2, fluid with hot water, variable mixing ratios available. After de-icing complete, report ready to move to tower, not before. Holdover times per conditions. Winter runway treatment uses KF4 potassium format fluids on runway and taxiways. This briefing is for educational purposes only. Aeronautical information changes constantly, and this video may not reflect current conditions at the time of viewing. Always consult official sources before flight operations. Current AIP Italy for LIML, current NOTAMs for Milano Linate Airport, current weather and TAF METAR, your company flight manual and procedures, your company operation specifications. Always follow your company standard operating procedures, SOPs. Always comply with your airline or operator's approved methods and limitations. This content does not replace official documentation or proper flight planning. The pilot in command is solely responsible for safe flight conduct and regulatory compliance. This video is a supplementary educational resource only. Milano Linate demands precision and procedural discipline. The A-CDM system, preferential runway operations with tailwind acceptance, terrain-induced wind shear threat, and complex ground movement procedures make this a challenging airport despite its single runway. Stay ahead of the aircraft, configure early for approach, respect the timing windows, and maintain constant awareness of bird activity. Brief thoroughly, fly safely, fly sharper, recover faster, perform better. peakpilot360.com